So, 2020 was definitely a year, to say the least. More specifically, it was an interesting year for movies. Dozens of major blockbusters got pushed back months to even years at a time because of the pandemic. And some releases were even indefinitely shelved for right now, so we have no idea when some will come out, like Wes Anderson's new movie. So even with several movies being pushed back from 2020 that I wanted to see, there were still several gems that came out last year, and I wanted to go over my top 10 best movies of 2020. Number 10, Sound of Metal. Darius Martyr's dramatic story about Ruben, a heavy metal drummer who suddenly starts to lose his hearing, is not only poignant, but also shines a light on the lifestyle of a community given very little public attention. Riz Ahmed delivers an amazing performance as the lead, tapping into a pain and an experience that seems to be universally feared. Supported by fantastic performances from Olivia Cooke and Paul Raci, Sound of Metal shows a hopeful look into a helpless situation. Number 9, Nobody Knows I'm Here. Easily the most underseen and underrated movie of the year, Nobody Knows I'm Here follows Memo, a recluse hiding on his uncle's sheep farm. Traumatized by his childhood, he dreamed of fame as a singer, but wasn't deemed attractive enough by the record label, and they used his voice for a more palatable child star. His past comes back to haunt him when he starts to fall for a woman from his local town, Marta, and Jorge Garcia, best known from Lost, gives a career best performance as the quiet Memo. While the story has been told before, the movie takes a beautifully shot and meditative approach to the subject matter, which, as someone else said best, feels like a warm, sad hug. Number 8, Nomadland. Director Chloe Zhao's newest feature, Nomadland explores the life of a woman who lost her previous life and is now living in a nomadic lifestyle in a van. Zhao's knack for realism blurs the lines between movies and reality, making the film almost feel like a documentary. The movie is highly reliant on Frances McDormand in the lead role, who delivers on every level. McDormand is easily the best part of the movie, giving an incredibly nuanced performance as Fern, proving once again that she is one of the best actresses working today. The movie's melancholic, methodical tone gives the story the rare advantage to really breathe and feel truly human. Number 7, Promising Young Woman. Emerald Fennell's feature debut hits the ground running in this story of revenge. Bold, shocking, and fresh, the movie's approach to social commentary stays as compelling as it can possibly be. Cassandra's quest to make things right is bolstered by Carey Mulligan's amazing performance. Along with a great supporting cast, Fennell puts her finger on the pulse of a part of public talking points that are never given a proper voice, and she knocks it out of the park. Number 6, Soul. Pixar's newest movie proves once again that the studio is one of the best original storytellers in the business. Joe Gardner is a middle-aged man who finally gets his dream job, which is cut short by a fatal accident. Not yet ready to move on, Joe's soul tries to return to his body with the assistance of 22, another soul too stubborn to live. The movie takes an emotionally profound look at life, showing an appreciation for living that is not often seen in entertainment, let alone children's films, that feels like we could use a lot more of it. Number 5, Wolfwalkers. Tom Moore and Ross Stewart direct the final installment in their unofficial Irish folklore trilogy. A young girl, Robin, comes to Ireland with her dad to live in a city adjacent to a forest filled with wolves. With a mixture of curiosity and a need for an adventure, Robin accidentally meets Mabe, a young wolfwalker, a person with the ability to communicate, lead, and become a wolf. The film shows a wonderful friendship with a positive message about accepting people from all backgrounds and origins. Beautifully and creatively animated, Wolfwalkers feels entirely original, while also walking a line of familiarity between movies like Brave and Princess Mononoke. Number 4, Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always follows two teenage girls traveling to New York City from Pennsylvania to seek proper medical help to get an abortion. Eliza Hittman directs the story with sensitivity and grace, using several character interactions with unspoken dialogue in exchange for meaningful and understanding looks and body language. Led by understated performances from Sidney Flanigan and Talia Ryder, the movie gives an insight into a subject matter that is rarely talked about in depth. A story with truly heartbreaking implications, this is one of the most memorable experiences I had with a movie this year. And it's a true shame that it's getting little award recognition. Number 3, Bad Education. Probably the best example in the last year of an average concept being elevated by a movie's incredible execution. Based on a real-life story, Bad Education follows a superintendent and his staff becoming the suspects of one of the biggest school embezzlement scandals in American history. Reinforced by a stupendous screenplay, director Corey Finley crafts this drama with the feeling of a mystery. Things unfold throughout the movie, and the more you find out, the more astounded you become, making it one of the most captivating movies of the year. Supported by a great cast, Hugh Jackman and Allison Janney give some of the best performances yet. They both play charming and likable characters that can be truly despicable if needed. It is an intensely watchable movie that needs so much more appreciation than it's gotten. Number 2, Minari. A story about a Korean family in the 1980s, Minari feels like the most intimate and personal film of 2020. Lee Isaac Chung illustrates the struggles of immigrants without adding artificial scenarios that feel out of place. The family struggles with work and money along with pursuing the ability to become financially independent while they all adapt to the new surroundings and experiences. Consisting of possibly the strongest ensemble cast of the year, Steven Yeun and Yuri Han are outstanding as the parents. Both bring a natural believability to their roles. The main focus is on the performances given from Alan S. Kim, who gives one of the best child performances of the last decade, and Yoo Jung-hyun, who plays the grandma. The chemistry between the two actors becomes the emotional heart of the movie, making the film an emotional journey that became one of the most memorable experiences I had in theaters last year. Now, of course, with most lists I make, I can't always fit every movie I would want to mention from this year into this list, because there are more than 10 that I thought were really good movies that came out last year. But here are my honorable mentions.
Will you marry me? Emma.
Oh.
Emma. Emma.
Oh.
Emma.
No.
Emma.
Oh. No.
You fucking asshole! Don't fucking punch at me! Yeah. You gotta cool off? You gotta cool off? I'll fucking cool you off! Yeah, I'll fucking cool you off! Hey, you cool off now? You're in there because of your own actions!
Are you kidding me? I gotta tell my mom you tried to drown me!
In an above-ground pool, you're like fucking 8 feet tall.
It's a shame. I got no time to pay your
We are the small.
Don't do anything you'll regret, son. Why don't you put the gun down and we can talk all about it?
Go ahead and talk.
It wasn't my fault. Lenora.
That boy has problems. So do I.
What are you looking at? Piss off.
Oh, God.
I lost my hair.
It looks cool. It's like way better than the one that I gave you.
No.
Number 1, Another Round. Another Round follows 4 middle-aged men trying to improve their social lives by keeping their blood alcohol level above 0.05% from the moment they wake up to 8 p.m. at night. This is another collaboration between director Thomas Vinterberg and actor Mads Mikkelsen. The film takes a lighter spin on the subject matter, becoming a funnier movie than expected. The supporting cast is really solid, especially Thomas Bo Larsen. Mads Mikkelsen gives what is probably my favorite performance of the year, showing why he is still one of the most underappreciated actors working today. Vinterberg's direction is immaculate. He is able to show us exactly where each character's thought process is without saying anything. The movie also avoids a preachy message about alcoholism. Instead, it shows us the consequences of their actions because we know what can happen in that situation. The movie treats its audience with respect. It's able to balance fun and seriousness without either being overbearing and both improving upon the other. The movie uses every scene for a reason, nothing is wasted, and it knows exactly what it's doing. The movie also has one of the most cathartic endings I've ever seen, and with that, it solidified itself as my favorite movie of 2020. Now, what did you guys think of my list? Of course, it's completely subjective, so it's my opinion. But what are your favorite movies of 2020? Let me know, and I'll be back with another video.